People choosing to stay in the workforce in later years are facing the challenge to retire or rewire. Geraldine and Raewyn Hamilton are here to talk about exciting options. Ladies, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Sarah.
So on your website, wisanow, what is the feedback you're getting from women in later years about the workforce currently?
Well, in terms of retirement, I think the necessity is there to stay at work.
Yeah, that's what we're getting more than anything, that retirement isn't as secure as it used to be. You can't live on a pension, and many people have had their little nest eggs wiped out. So, but rather than just take a job, they're actually determining what they're good at and more likely going out to sell themselves with those gifts.
I think part of it is the whole transition through menopause too. You know, it's the woman's midlife crisis and changing career all of a sudden. You know, Lindsay Dawson, I'm not saying she had a midlife crisis, but Lindsay Dawson is a classic example of somebody who was editor of a top magazine and now she's...
transitioned beautifully into a talk show host. Yeah.
So what you're talking about there is the rewiring, aren't you? So you can either retire, but people just can't afford to, or you can rewire the way you present yourself. And so what kind of things are you talking about?
Well, the biggest thing is you can have a portfolio career. So instead of working 5 days a week at something, you can work 2 days a week at something you absolutely adore. You can do volunteering, you can actually still be with your grandchildren. But the big thing about rewiring, what we're finding is most people go back and work with a bit of technology, upskilling, because that is the biggest possible change
going forward in the workforce.
So are there courses available to learn how to do the basic computer skills?
Yeah,
like
well, we were discussing that, weren't we?
Spreadsheets and so forth that aren't too expensive.
Well, the Auckland Chamber of Commerce used to do it. I actually haven't checked to see if they still do, but I know they have wonderful courses.
And the technical institutes, they all have very inexpensive courses. Very inexpensive.
What about the challenge that women as they get older have, and men I'm sure, ageism? What is your feedback that you're getting from your clients on this website? Clients is the wrong word. What do you call them? Subscribers, members.
Readers, members, yes.
There's it seems to me that it's moving towards people, employers wanting experience and the reliability of people who are at work because they want to be at work rather than at work because they have to go every day.
And the social intelligence and the knowledge that these people actually bring. It's just a matter of accepting and repackaging yourself. Very often it will be an appearance change that will make the acceptance
What do you
possible.
mean? So actually go and get your hair dyed and that sort of thing?
Or
Don't be afraid to get it done.
No, don't be afraid to get it dyed.
New clothing, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and if it's difficult to go out and buy new clothing, go to Dress for Success.
Oh, they're amazing. They really are amazing. I know so many women in a networking group that I belong to who actually assist. They talk, they go for a day and dress people, and they just get such a buzz out of it, sending people out into the workforce with beautiful clothing and revamped. And
I think the problem for us with retirement is we've got at least 30 years in front of us.
Yeah.
And so when do we retire?
And that's the thing, it used to be 60, with all due respect, was old.
Yes.
When I was growing up, that was my grandmother was 60. I was like, gosh, that's old. And now 60 is the new 40. I mean, that sounds really trite, but it's true. It is true. We're living longer.
You can't possibly spend 3 decades in retirement because you can't actually afford to.
No.
So there was a recent study in 2009, I think, that showed that 80% of New Zealanders want to work into their 70s. So that was amazing. Sandra Burton, I think the lady was.
And actually, Bob Jones, love him or hate him, did make that very funny comment about he was sick of being a professional golfer and a professional tennis player, so he went back to work because he was obviously having bets on his...
But the idea is to have, if you're really thinking about retirement and not sure whether it's going to suit you or not, have a very long vacation.
Take a sabbatical.
And then decide, oh, 3 months, it's Tuesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, what do I do today?
I have a friend of mine who was retired and her husband retired and then they were together in the house and she's like, I married you for love, not lunch.
Yes.
She couldn't handle him being there. He was like, he'd follow her around the house. Look, wonderful stuff. Just very quickly, any other examples of your readers who have done this rewiring?
Well,
I'm the best example, I suppose.
And also the funniest thing that came through was there was a couple of truckies, a trucking team that put up an article recently. She had been a school teacher and he was a
And worked for customs in the United States.
And became a husband and wife trucking team going across the states. But just give your example. Yeah.
Well, I was made redundant, and honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened to me because it did make me rewire myself and think about what do I really want to do for the rest of my life.
And now you're coding the back of a website.
Yes.
Well, coding the back of a website, there you go, technology. It's not good on you. Great to have you in the show. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks very much, Sarah. Well, in a moment, we'll head back to Jenny Bain-Coffin and the news team for the latest news. And then we're back in the kitchen with a sweet kumara and marshmallow bake. Plus, could you be the winner of a $3,000 red hot plancha barbecue table and chair set?